So the Washington Commanders finally got their head coach, but was it the right coach who they was looking for? Apparently, who knows? But seems like the Washington Commanders have hired ex defensive coordinator, ex head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn. Now, Dan Quinn spent the last couple of seasons, matter of fact, 3 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. He posted a 43 and 42 record with the Atlanta Falcons as head coach between 2015, 20, and 20. Um, he took the team to the Super Bowl in 2016 against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, which saw his team was up 25 points, 28-3, and lost the Super Bowl on Tom Brady's remarkable comeback, as always, to beat the Atlanta Falcons. I think if the Atlanta Falcons were playing anybody besides the Patriots, I believe the Atlanta Falcons would have won the Super Bowl. Dan Quinn would have had his first Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan would have had his first Super Bowl. Mike LaFleur would have had his first Super Bowl. Mike McDaniels would have had his first Super Bowl. Now, you see where I'm going with this situation right here. Now, if you look at it, Dan Quinn did have a lot of the ex 49ers on, from the Shanahan tree, which served as well. But um, Dan Quinn also, was part of the Legion of Boom back in Seattle, which they lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Um, but he did win a Super Bowl with them in 2013, and and lost in 2014 when they went back to back. But nevertheless, per Adam Scheffler stating, and I'm gonna put a clip of Adam Scheffler and the NFL Live crew talking about how they felt about Dan Quinn being hired. Now, the Washington community, not so thrilled about it. Even myself, because I didn't understand it. But after I had a chance to process the situation a little bit more, okay, I understand it. Josh Harris, we all wanted, a lot of us wanted Ben Johnson, some of us wanted Mike McDaniels, some of us wanted Bobby Slowick, but none of these guys are proven head coaches right now. Now they coordinators, they hell of a coordinators, but head coaching. And then some rumors was out there stating that hey, they wanted more years, more money, or whatever the case might be. Um, did Washington lose out on these guys? You can say yeah, they did, but what was they really looking for? Because Seattle interviewed Dan Quinn, they liked the Dan Quinn, but I guess they wanted to go younger because Dan Quinn is 53. He's up there with Harbaugh, so that's not bad. Andy Reid's probably the oldest coach in the league. I think Mike Tomlin, he's around that age with Dan Quinn. Now you got to look at also the landscape of the what's been happening the last couple of days. Even from last year, you got defensive minded coaches that's taking over, and they pretty much going to hire um, coordinators to run the show. So and they focus on defense. Now that's a recipe that Bill Belichick did when he was with New England for the last few years. He had Charlie Weiss, Bill O'Brien. Um, I forgot the other guy name that he had there with Tom Brady through the years. So it works because your head coach, who's a defensive minded head coach, he can focus a little bit more on the defense. Now, so and then if you look at Dan Campbell over there in Detroit, same philosophy. If you look at Miko Ryans over there in Houston, same philosophy. You know what I'm saying? So now you got Antonio Pierce, who's looked like he's putting a crazy staff together. Also, so it works. Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, San Diego. Look what he has done with Michigan. You know what I'm saying? He's a great defensive guy and a great run guy. And he was a quarterback as well. Then you got John Harbaugh over there. You know what I'm saying? So you look at all of this, it all makes sense a little bit. And then you got Raheem Morris down in Atlanta also. So everybody's seen the success with D'Amico Ryans, and everybody wants to emulate it. We already know this is a copycat league. So, um, with that being said, I mean, it's going to take me a while. I mean, because I mean, not saying Dan Campbell. I mean, not Dan Campbell. Dan Quinn is not a good coach. I think a lot of us had our hopes high for an offensive minded coach, and I kind of think that the reason why these young guys, didn't want to come to Washington because they don't have. To me, I feel like they don't have the experience to really develop a team. These guys are used to having a team kind of. Now, Mike McDonald's an exception because he could put a defense together and hire a coordinator to put his staff together. But at the same time, who knows? Who really knows at that point in juncture? But we have to see what Dan Campbell does. Now, he did say that he learned from his first time around of being a head coach. We'll see them lessons. We could damn sure say that he ain't Ron Rivera. I think our defense is going to improve a whole lot better. Now we have to give. I think the reason why Dallas didn't have a good run game because they didn't have nobody in the trenches. We got guys in the trenches like Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. If Jonathan Allen decides to stay, now we could use Federa Mathis to step up this year. You know, he has not been a great, has not did great since his first year, and he got injured, and then last year you didn't really see him too much. So I think, you know, if we going to get rid of John Allen, then Federa Mathis have to step up in that spot. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we still got pieces, F.A. Abada and all of these guys. So we'll see how it all plays out around draft time. But shout out to George Carmi for this tweet. Um, he did say that Dan Quinn went to he played college football up in Maryland, I think Salisbury, something like that. So that's a tad bit nugget. So he's kind of familiar with the DC, Maryland area, the DMV area a little bit, So hey, that's something. And he said he wanted to come here. So who knows? But the question is, who's going to be his staff? That's the question. Now, me personally, I think everybody has thrown out every other offensive coordinator out there, but I like Brian Hartline. Hartline is a young, innovative coach from Ohio State. I think he has connections with Justin Fields and Terry McLaurin, but who knows? Now, there's also that Dan Quinn might want Chip Kelly, and I don't think Chip Kelly is going to leave coaching UCLA just to come to the NFL to be a coordinator. You know, so now he could come and be a coordinator and get a shot at being a head coach. Again, I don't know. That's something to look at. But we already know what that would look like when Chip Kelly was in the NFL the last time with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I really don't know. But Clint Kubiak, Gary Kubiak's son, he's a hot name that's kept plucking out there. He's over there with the 49ers right now. Brian Greasy's over there. So can is Adam Peters going to poach these guys to bring them over there to run Washington? Could be. Dan Campbell also, there's rumors now that Dan Campbell's, I think John Witt on the passing game, the defensive passing game coordinator, most likely be coming over, taking over the defense, be the defensive coordinator for Washington. Al Harris could be coming over for the defensive back. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts in the next couple of days. Dan Quinn is probably going to move fast to fill out his staff, and we already know the Senior Bowl is tonight, so that's going to be. I wanted to get to see that a little bit and watch what's the guy named Michael Penix, but nevertheless, I think right now the Commanders, we should give Dan Quinn a shot. I mean, it could be worse. You know, we could have got Bill Belichick, which they said that it was interested in Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick was a choice before Dan Quinn. But Dan Quinn is not that old. He's, 7 years from 60? I mean, you think about it. 5 years, he'd be 58. So, therefore, we could have a successor take over on this staff in 3 or 4 years and run it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it right there. Like I said, I was kind of little upset a little bit about it, but then again, I kind of say, hey, Adam Peters, John Harris, they want a guy that's who has a vision, leader of man, is well respected, and you can see that with um, Dan Quinn every way he went. The guys play for him. They love him to death, and he could get the most out of it. And I think he's going to get the most out of this defense. This defense is going to be way different from what we've seen in the last few years. Um, the offensive side of the ball is going to be the question that I want to know who's going to be the coordinator, who's going to be the quarterback's coach, because we do hold a number two pick. And I want to caution y'all, Commander fans, a lot because y'all keep with this Caleb Williams thing. Caleb Williams is not coming to Washington. He's not going to hire Cliff Kingsbury to come to be the offensive corner. Washington's not going to trade up to get Caleb Williams for the Bears. No, that's not about to happen. And if Washington decide to get a veteran quarterback to run the show for the next couple of years and then trade back to build a team, then yeah, that could be happening. But I don't think so. You got a veteran coach. He's going to want his franchise quarterback. And number two, we going to get either Jaden Daniels or Drake May. I want Jaden Daniels. That's what I want. I think you come in there, you bring a guy in there, develop him, build a great offensive line, great scheme, and everything like that, and we could do wonders at free agency. So I mean, it's going to be a lot to endure, a lot to build from, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'm not over enthused, but I have seen Dan Campbell. I mean, not Dan Campbell, but Dan Quinn. And it's going to be hard because now you got to decipher from saying Dan Campbell or Dan Quinn. But Dan Quinn is he has a vision, and I think this is going to be a little bit better for the Washington Commanders moving forward. The main thing is putting the staff together and win games. That's the bottom line of it. The success we could. It doesn't matter if we got any one of them other coaches. It's about building the staff and winning games. Because you could get the hottest name out there, but if you don't win games, it really don't mean shit at the end of the day. So, but having somebody that has NFL experience that knows what it takes and know how to build a roster, I will go with Dan Campbell. Bill Belichick showed that he has not did good in the last 4 years, so I would have been questioning that situation. If because he will want control. So Dan Campbell now he don't have to have control like Ron Rivera. All he got to do is put his staff together and coach and coach and coach, and you might see a similarity to Detroit, how Detroit runs things. But it's going to be exciting these next couple of days to find out who his staff is, who his offensive coordinator is, quarterback coach. That's what I'm looking forward to. I pretty much already know what the defense coordinator going to look like. So with John Witt, so that's going to be good. And hopefully Al Harris comes over. So it's going to be crazy just to see that the Dallas Cowboys is out here interviewing Ron Rivera. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. What's best wishes to you. But I think we got one of the better coaches in the league, experience wise and everything like that. And I think that probably bodes more well with Josh Harris looking for he wants somebody with experience. Yeah, it's easy to get a hot guy, but how much head coach experience did Ben Johnson had? Yeah, he would have put an offense in there, but you got to think about it. His offense only scores over like 25, 26 points a game, but they get stuck and stagnant. They don't move the ball enough. You know what I'm saying? They don't put points on the board. So I mean, if you get to put a defense together to slow that kind of production down, you can stay in the game. Because if you're not getting blown out by 30 points a game, then 20 points, you can easily stay in the game with 20 points. So, but I did want a Mike Macdonald because he's a defensive guy, but Dan Quinn is a defensive guy too. So why not give him the same shot, the same opportunity? Like I said, a lot of people is not happy with it, but If we start winning games, y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna be all on Dan Quinn's, you know what I mean? So with that being said, the Washington Commanders finally has their head coach, Dan Quinn. Welcome to the Commanders. We call you Commander Dan now. Um, so with that being said, this your boy LiveWire Sports Entertainment. Hopefully y'all have a great afternoon. Until then, hit that like, comment, subscribe to this channel, baby. I'm on my way to 2,000. I need y'all in there. Until then, I'm out. Peace.